REPO recently put out a new video, and in this new video, they showcase a new map. This map looks like an art gallery or art museum, whatever you want to call it. And this is very exciting news as us REPO players have already been looking for new content in the game. In this video, I want to talk about some ideas and predictions on what we could be seeing in this new map. Now, let's get right into it. Before I say my ideas, I think you should see the teaser yourself if you haven't already. Here's the small teaser they put out.
I want to give you a sneak peek on what's coming up next in REPO.
So that was our first look at the new museum map in REPO, and honestly, it looks amazing. We could see paintings on the walls, we see plants, we see a wet floor sign, we see an exit door. It looks really good. Now I predict there's going to be a few new items in this map, including the wet floor sign. I believe that's going to cost around like 1,200 or something, nothing crazy. We're probably also going to get a bunch of new jewelry and stuff, and maybe new paintings, who knows. I also predict that stuff like the painting, the statue, and more is probably going to be spawning here since they're more related to art than anything else. I also predict that we're probably going to get 1 or 2 new monsters, and I actually have an idea for a monster that I'm actually going to talk about later on. Now, one of my first ideas is actually with the wet floor sign. Now, imagine you take the wet floor sign as a warning. So think of this, imagine you're running with an object and boom, you slip, just because you didn't read the wet floor sign. I think this would be a really cool addition to the game and let you know to be more careful with your items. My next idea is for a new room type. This one is actually pretty confusing as it has to do with this picture. Now imagine this, you're running around and boom, you find this room. And to get to the next extraction point, you have to traverse your way across this maze-looking staircase room. I think this would be a really fun addition to the game and make players think of, whoa, what am I looking at? My final idea is for a new monster. This guy I call the Sculpture. The way he works is pretty much like a Doctor Who weeping angel. If you stare at him, he doesn't move, but if you don't stare at him, he will start coming closer to you. The cool thing about this monster is that you don't even have to face him at all. Let me explain. So for example, you find a room and you see a bunch of sculptures. Only one of them is alive, or 2 or 3 depending on what level you are in the game. As long as you're careful and don't bump into any of them, you should be fine, as the sculpture does not get aggravated if you're just around his presence. But if you do bump into him, he will start chasing you unless you look at him. Hiding is also an option, as you can just see the sculpture walk past you, but just know that he will never stop chasing you, so I would just keep an eye on him. Another way to counter the sculpture is by knocking him down. To do this, you're gonna need either a bunch of friends or a lot of strength upgrades, cause then you could pull him down and do some major damage to the sculpture. Just know that he will not go down without a fight, as he has around 350 health. So, if you are gonna fight him, I do recommend using weapons like the shotgun, as pistols and swords will not do a lot of damage to him as he's made out of marble, but sledgehammers probably will. Anyways, that is all the ideas and predictions I have for this new map. If you guys are excited, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next REPO video.